intense, thrilling, electrifying sport on the planet. Mixed martial arts. You've been looking for the definitive podcast to call your new home to hear everything about it. The search is over. This is the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. Bringing you the hottest MMA breakdowns straight from the heart of the octagon. This show is all about MMA breakdowns. For fans, by fans. We're talking UFC, MMA, and the occasional big boxing match. We'll bring our unique take on how these fights are going to play out and who we think are the best bets. Welcome to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. And now your hosts, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and Emiliano, a.k.a. Jive Turkey Nano.
Alrighty, folks, we have to address the elephant in the room here, or rather the lack of a turkey in the room here. This guy's still MIA. He's still MIA, guys. It's okay, though. He's going to be back soon. In the meantime, we have none other than MadMaxMeridian. And we're hoping we'll be able to keep him on even once the turkey man himself gets back. You know what I'm saying? Mad Max, how you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Glad to be here. Gonna have to do at least the pay-per-views 3 wide, or figure out like a regular schedule. I'm down. It's gonna be fun. I missed the old turkey man though. He's been gone. He's been gone for a minute now, hadn't he?
Too long.
Couple weeks.
It's been like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's going up there, man. It's not the best.
Yeah, we need his touch in here. We need a little sprinkle of him, but you know,
truly.
Business before pleasure. Of course, the man's got his priorities together, so he'll be back soon.
He'll be back very soon, very very soon indeed. So when it comes to this episode, we are going to be talking about none other than UFC Vegas 92, as well as, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about Alexander Usyk getting it done over Tyson Fury. Man, if he had knocked him down one more time, I would have cashed in a little bit of dough there. But I digress. We will go ahead and start off with UFC Fight Night, Barboza Murphy. This was a pretty fun fight card from top to bottom. It was not without its weirdness, I would say. Speaking of weirdness, we'll go ahead and jump into the weirdness right away. Vanessa Demopoulos coming in against Emily Ducote. I'm going to let you take the lead on this one, Mad Max. Did you score it for Little Monster Demopoulos, or did the judges maybe make a mistake here?
Man, usually with these like razor close decisions or seemingly close decisions, I usually like to do a little fence sitting. This one, to me, I was fairly confident Emily won that fight. I thought she landed the bigger shots, the more clean shots, more shots. With stuffing takedowns, like controlling the octagon. I personally, I think they got the decision wrong on this one. It surprised me a little bit. Am I like super bent out of shape about it? No, not necessarily. We play the decision hedges typically on these. I did like you when we were talking about last week where we tried that underdog. So I kind of left alone all my normal plays and just messed with that a little bit this week. But yeah, I picked Emily straight up, though, when we were talking about our picks for the show, so I would have had it wrong for sure. I don't know, man. She's been on the favor of a couple weird decisions now, like a couple where it's like, all right, what the hell's going on? What was your take on it? Am I crazy?
You're definitely not crazy. I think you're barking up the right tree today, my friend. I would say that I scored it exactly as you did. I think maybe the judges made a little bit of a mistake here. But again, it was fairly razor thin here. I don't think that it was like highway robbery by any means. But again, I do think that they may have gotten it wrong. I thought Ducote did just enough to win. She outlanded her by about 20 strikes. Outlanded her by a little over 30 strikes when it comes to significant strikes. And she stuffed all 3 of Vanessa's takedowns. So, the math isn't mathing for me, man. Yeah. So, not going to play matchmaker for Little Monster, but great job. I did pick her to win on the pre-show, so happy I got it right, but I still feel like I got it wrong a bit. Moving into the next one, we had Alatang Hali coming in against Clayton Rodriguez. Believe I called Alatang Hali to get it done. I think we may both have called him to get it done. Bit of a
Yeah, we were talking about his nickname.
Yes, bit of a deficit here when it comes to the experience between Clayton Rodriguez and the Mongolian Knight. As you stated, Mongolians have really great nicknames. It's just a fact, right? So he went out there and got it done. 107 total strikes to 70 in favor of Lee. Now, the interesting thing is 37 to 18 in favor of Clayton Rodriguez when it comes to significant strikes. Even though Lee got 3 out of 4 takedowns and stuffed the one attempted by Clayton Rodriguez. When Clayton was landing, he was landing bombs, bro. And it shows on the scorecards as well. Or not on the scorecards, but on the stats. But man, those takedowns, you might as well just kiss your opportunity to win goodbye, because it's fucking gone, kid. What were your thoughts on this fight? Did anything stand out to you or surprise you about either of these fighters?
No, I think you pretty well just nailed it there. It seemed like Clayton was kind of swinging for the fences, like not a ton of technique or setup. He was just loading up for the real big shots, and like you touched on there with the takedowns, when one guy has 3, it matters quite a bit, especially when the other guy has none. If he had maybe 2 in return, it's like, all right, well, these two, they're kind of canceling each other out. They both have good offense. Maybe they both suck at defense. But when it's 3-0, it's like, all right, this is kind of one-sided in the grappling department, or at least so it would seem as indicated by the stats. No, I think you, again, nailed it there. It was a case of experience. I think the Mongolian Knight pretty well just outclassed him, used some of those savvy vet tools and did a lot of the right like fight IQ things that you would win. Maybe he was outgunned in a couple of spots, but he did some crafty moves where it's like, no, that was the right move there. This dude knows what he's doing. He's got the experience. So good for him. Good win.
Nice chain wrestling too. Like when he would shoot in and his opponent would begin to sprawl, he would just continue to follow up on it. And I think that was what ultimately led to him landing a lot of those, or like most of the 3 takedowns he did land.
Agreed.
Yeah, I was gonna say I figured you'd enjoy that, the little scrambles from him there.
Oh, yeah. He also looks like one of these dudes who's strong as shit.
He looks so strong, dude.
Every time he'd lock up, I'm like, this dude's just got some horsepower. Like, this shit's
what?
Green orangutan looking ass dude. What the Tyson? This man's over here throwing all kinds of shit out.
Tyson just throwing shade, man.
Yeah, that's the way she goes.
So, all right, guys. I'm not gonna play matchmaker for him, but again, he looks strong. And I mean, he was going beast mode in there. So I look forward to whoever comes in next. The next one was another weird one, guys. Definitely a weird one here. Pietro Rodriguez coming in against Ariane Carnalosi. Usually when we see somebody cheat, Mad Max, it's because they're losing the fight.
This shit was so weird.
This woman was winning the fight. And she just went street mode and started headbutting her opponent. And the ref didn't insta-DQ her or anything crazy, right? He actually gave her a chance to stop headbutting her opponent. He, I believe, said, stop headbutting your opponent. To which she kindly responded with another headbutt to the face of her opponent.
Like a split second before that, too. I mean, you're talking, it was literally like 2 seconds before that. He's like, don't headbutt. Bam!
He's all, okay, bleh!
Yeah.
What about that? Was that a headbutt where I hit her in the face with my head? So, I mean, again, just come on. What was that?
It was weird as fuck. The first one
was so weird.
The first one wasn't even that bad. The first one, like, it barely happened, but it was enough that it was noticeable. And then the second one was like 3 times worse. I don't know.
It was insanity. It didn't make any sense.
Weird as fuck. I get being, she was super forward in her posture. Like, she was way over front of her knees. I've got a little bit of a scar on one of my eyebrows, like just below the brow right here, because a guy leaned forward and tried to catch himself, and I caught his elbow, and he was kind of leaned super far forward, and when someone's retaining guard, you have a ton of control over them, and of course your legs are significantly stronger than just their little bit of core that they have way extended over their knees. So you pull them towards you, and they're kind of top heavy anyway. They come down real quick and try to catch themselves. But she also, if I recall correctly, had her arms in a relatively framed position and then kind of like moved it and went forward. So it was almost like maybe you know, trying to give her some benefit of the doubt. Was it like she was caught up in the moment? All she heard was headbutt, and it just kind of like she just reacted instantly and like went with that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't. It was just fucking weird, man. It was really weird.
It was extremely weird.
I picked the I think did we both go with Piera on this one?
Yeah.
So we shit the bed on that a little bit. I felt like we pretty well had that in the bag though. Like she was winning
say,
that fight.
Technically, we didn't. She was winning that fight. She just is. It was an IQ issue.
Yeah, yeah, and I would have played just playing it truthful here. I would have probably played decision hedges, so I would have lost this bet. But we both had Piera. She had it in the bag and found a way to lose, so that kind of sucked.
Found a way to give it away. We are not going to play matchmaker for Ariane Carnelozzi, who, again, good on her for getting the win. Can't really put her in the top 15, and I can't think of anybody that she really matches up super well against outside of the top 15. But hey, moving into the next one, we had a bout in the middleweight division. We had Abus Magomedov coming in against Warlley Alves. Oh, man. Well, I think if there is a takeaway to be taken away from this fight, it's that Abus, however you pronounce his name, depending on who you ask, he's a wrestler now. So that's something. 7 takedowns attempted. 6 of them landed. Not bad. I'm not going to steal your thunder here. It was pretty one-way traffic. I'm just going to go ahead and pass that one-way traffic to you. Were you impressed with his grappling? I feel like this is the first time we've actually seen it on full display here.
Yeah, man, and I thought it was a good answer. It's like good development in your game, and also a good answer against Warlley Alves, who like isn't the greatest wrestler. Yeah, dude, just sap his muscles. He's not the greatest wrestler, so you're probably going to be able to out-scramble him and get dominant position. He's an okay submission guy, but it's like he's not a whiz or anything. So it's like as long as you're relatively defensively sound, like your defense is always the first thing you learn in jiu-jitsu, and everybody says it's the easier thing of the two to learn. So if your defense is like 60% or like a 60 on your stats, and he's got an offense of 80, you're still gonna probably win that battle so long as you're not doing anything super reckless. And like I thought it was a good development in the game. Like Abus has shown a little bit of questionable like chin. Like is he chinny? Is he not? Does he just get caught clean sometimes? So it's like, well, what's the answer to that? Don't expose your chin. Just start grappling motherfuckers and taking them down and ragdolling them. I thought there was a couple of moments where it was like, all right, this dude has a submission set up, but Warlley Alves is no like slouch, so it didn't really surprise me that he didn't get the sub. The fact that he was able to maintain position was the bigger deal here. I saw a lot of people on Twitter kind of bitching that he didn't get the sub, and it's like, guys, let's not forget, Alves is no punk. Like, he's not just going to go out there and get tapped easily. Like, he may get out positioned, but that doesn't mean you're just going to instantly submit the guy. He's durable as hell. So I thought it was great. I thought it was a great showing from Abus. I think we both picked him because the one gal that was in the chat was saying, she's like, am I the only one going with Warlley here? And we were like, yeah, pretty much. I picked him inside the distance, though, on the bet, so I would have had that wrong had I not done the underdogs. Underdogs really saved my butt. This card would have been a real whooping. I did not have many picks right last week at all. I had the fighter right, but the bet was wrong.
I'm so upset, bro. I'm so upset that I didn't follow your lead and check that fucking box, man.
Oh, the flex?
The flex box.
Yeah, that saved me on them. I only hit one of them where it was all. All the other ones were all flexes. That saved me.
Every single one that I put in, one missed.
Dude. Yeah, so you would have cleaned up.
I would have fucking cleaned shop, bro.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Next week, baby. Next week. It's going to be going down. It's going to be a 3-man show. And it's going to be all about the man from Louisiana. Dustin.
Hell yeah. With that too, on that, just food for thought, you could always, if you do have a longer one that you are pretty sure is going to hit, place the parlay twice for half the amount you would normally do it. So you still have the one whole wager, do a flex and do a whole.
That is extremely smart, man. That is, that's why I love chatting with you. Money in the bank when you talk, bro.
Spent a lot of time losing money.
Love that.
Yeah.
Me too. So, I mean, don't sleep on Warley Alves, obviously, right? He's been in the game in the UFC specifically since 2014. That's a decade, folks, if you're bad at math. So he's, like you said, he's no slouch. He's very strong. He's very game. And I think it was a perfect game plan from Abus to take him down. 6 out of 7 takedowns. Like I said, 85% clip there. 98-17 total strikes landed. 22-16. Again, 98 strikes, 22 of them were significant. 17 strikes, 16 of them were significant. That tells you everything you need to know about Warley Alves, folks. I mean, like, I think maybe they got it that wrong. Maybe I think it was like 17 of 17 were significant. The dude doesn't know how to not throw heat. So, great game plan from Abus. Did you have a name on the tip of your tongue for who should be next for him?
Not like anybody that was really sticking out to me, unfortunately. I was hoping maybe he would kind of do a little bit of initiative here and have some kind of good call out. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing him against old Michel Pereira.
That'd be fun.
Have they fought before or no?
I don't believe so. That's not the one that he was like slapping up, was it?
I can't. That's what I started second guessing. I was like, man, was that the dude that he opened palm? But I'm going to look it up here. Did you have anybody in mind?
Sorry, I was looking it up.
I don't see him.
Who did I have in mind?
He's not on there.
I was going to say Caio Barrayo, but I didn't even realize that was his last fight and he lost. I also wouldn't mind seeing him fight Chris Curtis.
Yeah. The action
It'd be a
man.
fun fight. The action man. Chris Curtis always stacks up, even if it's not well against some people, it's fun. He stacks up fun against people, man. Dude puts on exciting fights, and he's a great test for a lot of these people. Great takedown and negation skills. So I think it would probably be a really fun test for our guy Abus. But I'm also really, really not mad at what you said. So either way, I'm happy.
Yeah, I like that Chris Curtis matchup. I think I'd almost pick Chris Curtis in that one, given the takedown defense and the striking ability. Like, that motherfucker is hard to take down, and he's maybe even harder to keep down. That'd be a good scrap. Real good scrap.
Absolutely. Well, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move into the women's bantamweight division for a bout between Tamirez Vidal and Melissa Gato, which of course means cat in Spanish. Love that. Folks, you know what? This was just an interesting ass match in the fact that we had a first. And I love it when we have firsts. Big fan of firsts. Big fan of firsts. This one, not sure if it was my favorite first. We saw a finish via boob punch. I mean, there's not really a whole lot else to say. One woman punched another woman's boob, and
Brutality.
that's all she wrote. Now, the best thing about this, though, is somebody on Twitter commented on Angela Hill on one of her posts and asked how her boobie was doing. To which Angela Hill, quote, retweeted and said that was the other black girl.
Oh, my God. I didn't see that. That's hilarious. Holy shit.
Angela Hill has such a great sense of humor.
Yeah. Way to roll with it.
Way to roll with the punches, the boob punches.
Holy shit. That's funny.
Yeah, so that was not Angela Hill. It was Tamirez Vidal that got finished by boob punch. Man. You've heard of Abubakar Nurmagomedov. We're going to start calling this chick Abu Breaker Gato. You know?
Oh.
Right? All right, folks, come on. Nothing? All right. Maybe the next one will end. So no, this was, again, a very interesting fight. Even before the punch to the boob, it was pretty one-sided, right? 120 strikes landed to 50, 30 to 15 on significant strikes, and 2 for 2 on takedowns to 0 for 0 on takedowns. all in favor of Melissa Gatto. More like Melissa got her. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's all I got on this one, man. Not a whole lot else to say. It was very weird. It's a very strange fight. It's not a fight that I'll think about 2 weeks from now. It's one of those rare occasions where it's a fight. It happened, and we move on. Any thoughts, comments, concerns on this fight, Mad Max? How was that first for you?
It was just, that part was strange. Gato actually impressed the shit out of me, though. I thought she was very aggressive. Her striking looked like on point. She was very snappy, and it looked like she actually had quite a bit of pop behind him. Like she was hitting Tamira's with some force behind it. And it seemed like Tamira's was kind of like frozen up to that point. Like she looked confused, like she wasn't really sure excuse me, how to answer Gato. And I don't know. The boob punch thing was just weird as fuck, dude. I don't know what to think about it. Did you see the lady running in there and kind of arguing with the ref afterwards as well, that it was a foul? And yeah, you could hear, I think it might have been Chris Tione, but whoever it was like, yeah, that's not an illegal blow. And the lady's like, no, that was a foul. That was a foul. It was some lady in like a pink dress, if I recall correctly. But yeah, he just basically was like, yeah, no, you can't turn your back to an opponent. That was a legal blow, and she lost. So kind of put it into that pretty quick. I think we both went with Gato. I would have played the women's decision hedges, so I would have had that shit dead wrong on this one. It was one of the first times the decision hedges would have blown up in my face in quite a minute there, but I don't think I played any of this one in the underdog stuff. But next for Gato, I did have somebody for her. Excuse me, I'm dying here. I thought, did GDR retire, or is she still in it? The Iron Lady, Jermaine Durandamy.
I think she's still in it.
She's still in the rankings, and I thought that'd be a really fun matchup.
I agree with you. That is a very fun matchup. I think Gato actually stacks up really, really well against GDR. Yeah, Jermaine Durandamy, bro, not bad.
Yeah, she kind of stylistically, that's the only reason I even thought of that, is because she kind of reminded me of her, like a younger.
I was gonna say they
version.
have a similar like fight style.
Yeah, so I'd like to see her put to pasture by Gato, by the cat.
Put to pasture.
Melissa the cat. That's what I'm gonna call her from now on. I'm betting on her next time. She impressed the shit out of me, to be honest.
No, she was great. She looked really great out there. Yeah, I have nothing else to add. I really enjoy that matchup. GDR. Fuck yeah, I think they'd bring monsters out of each other. At the very least, they'd bring that dog out of each other. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. I'll tweet them later.
You definitely should. Moving into the light heavyweight division, we have Umar Sy coming in against Tuco Tokos. I mean, I think we were sitting on the fence on this one and took the under, if I remember correctly. Guess what, folks? Crazy news. It didn't even go a full fucking round. So we did it. Under hit. So, yeah, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot to analyze in this. I mean, there was a total of 5 strikes landed across 2 guys. And 2 takedowns. So there were almost as many takedowns as there were strikes. You can guess where I'm going with this. It ended via submission. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, when there's just as many takedowns as there are strikes, it's going to be a submission. So we'll go to our very own submission artist here to my right and let him break down that submission situation.
This was it wasn't like the cleanest submission ever. It was kind of a little bit of muscle, but it made me think
Muscled
of the old Brazilian adage, anything above the neck is the neck. I've heard that said several times before, and it's like, yeah, that seemed to apply here. Like, it wasn't necessarily perfectly in position, but if you get your arms in position and you got the back and the squeeze to do it, like, fuck it, just send it, crank it. If nothing else, it's going to make him incredibly uncomfortable. It's going to force him to either scramble out of there or just take an unnecessary amount of discomfort, and he's gonna react. He's gonna do something. He's gonna fight with his hands and maybe open up something else. He's gonna spaz out of there and give up, a better position, maybe a better sink on the neck. Something will happen. He's not just gonna sit there and let you break his jaw. And if by some weird chance he does, well, then you broke his jaw and you won. We did take the under from what I recall in this one, and I was leaning towards Umar. Just The one thing I remember talking about last week was I was pointing out in his background the KSW experience. That's like an actual fairly legit organization. We've seen a lot of dudes come from over there that have done pretty well in the UFC and in other organizations here. So that stuck out to me a little bit. He's a young dude. I was pretty impressed, man. He was doing a lot of right shit. He wasn't like giving up crazy positions or anything like that. Like he seemed fairly dominant here. So this was a nice breath of fresh air at light heavyweight. I'm kind of hype on Umar here a little bit. You hear that thunder?
No.
It is. We're supposed to have tornado warning tonight, and it's now thundering like crazy.
Oh my goodness!
So if my shit cuts out, that's why.
Good times. Good times. Might be a solo show later. Thanks for the heads up, bud. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. Umar looked really, really good out there. Obviously, he only threw one strike. He threw 8 strikes, but he landed one. What was that?
Did you hear their chatter back and forth while they were in there?
No.
They were going back and forth a little bit. It wasn't anything like too crazy, but there was a couple moments where you could pretty clearly hear them on camera talking back and forth to each other. I'm trying to find like where somebody actually caught exactly what they said, but "You're heavier than me" is one of them that I saw, which when the dude was trying to get him off him. Let's see. Yeah, they just says summary. They were talking to each other.
That's
and it was caught on
funny.
camera. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get to hear any of it because I drove out for Ian's fight, and then I watched it on my phone while we were having pizza before, and then while we were at the event waiting on it to start after doors opened. I just was watching everything on my phone.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I didn't get to hear anything. I did go back and watch a couple of the fights at home today, but yeah, that's hilarious, bro. I will tell you, just because you brought that up, it reminded me, when we were at the event for Ian's fight, there was a woman, and it was like her son that was in there fighting. And as he walks out, she gets like this chant going for him, and everyone's chanting for him. And then his opponent walks out, and she's all, "He missed weight! He missed weight! He missed weight!"
Damn.
She had everybody chanting, "He missed weight." I was like, dude, this bitch is brutal.
Hell
She was so comedic, dude.
That's
she
awesome.
she was a sweetheart, but man, she was venomous as well.
She let
you
him
love
know.
to see it. She was letting him know, he missed weight. He missed weight. She was hilarious. So yeah, Umar Sy, I'm definitely high on this guy as well. I think the sky is the limit for him. Don't want to see him get pole vaulted to the top of the light heavyweight division. Don't put this guy inside of the top 15 right away. But, you know, maybe someone right outside of the top 15. Give him a little bit of a litmus test. If he gets one more impressive win like this, though, you got to give him like a Dominic Reyes or like a Alonzo Minifield type of fight. I think that those would be really, really fun stylistic matchups for him. Not next, but after next. Do you have a name on the tip of your tongue for his next fight, or kind of in line with that?
Minifield was who I was thinking. If you were gonna go that route, because unfortunately light heavyweight's so shallow. I don't know.
It is.
I'm trying to think of people outside of the top 15, and I'm even struggling to recall too many people. So if you're gonna do it, maybe somebody like Minifield I thought would be a good answer, especially with him coming off a loss. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Obviously, I said Minifield as well for a reason. Another name, if you did want to give him somebody outside of the top 15, there's a couple of names, right? You could give him Dustin Jacoby. You could give him Bogdan Guskov. I think that would be a fun fight. You know that guy, Wish.com, Anthony Smith. Yeah, I think both of those would be good fights. But Alonzo Menifield, if you're going to go top 15, Alonzo Menifield. Moving into the lightweight division, we had Victor Martinez coming in against Tom Nolan. Not Chris Nolan, but you would think that he was the director of this fight because he went out there and doubled down on his opponent and doubled up on strikes against him. 0 takedowns attempted, 0 takedowns needed. His opponent did get a knockdown, but not enough to get the win, right? Because he got knocked out very shortly after that. what a comeback for Tom Nolan. I thought he looked really nice out there, other than getting knocked down, right? Dude's got that grit. I will definitely be watching his next fight. He wasn't perfect. There were moments where he left his hands down, which is why he got clipped. But I digress. Mad Max, am I missing anything here? Anything else stand out to you about this guy?
No, not really. I mean, you summed it up nicely. It actually does worry me a little bit. I feel like they were trying to set him up with a lob here, and he still found a way to get knocked down. And while he did rally through it, that doesn't bode well in a division as deep as lightweight. Especially, I mean, he was a minus 500. They were clearly setting this dude up for a big win. And while he did finish with I think it was a knee to the body and that whole deal. Like, it's good that he got the finish, but it's not good that you got hurt in the path to it. It's like, man, it's a dangerous game, of course, in MMA and all the other like cliche things you can throw out there. But when they're setting you up for one like this, and then you still get knocked down and like hurt, it's like, ooh, this ain't great, man. There's a lot of dudes at lightweight who are a lot more dangerous than old Victor Martinez. I can tell you that much. Give him somebody like Benoit Saint-Denis, and he's getting his head ripped off.
Yeah, Benny Saint-Denis would do bad things to him, I think.
I wonder if he's cutting maybe too much weight or with this chin issue. But I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say. He's a pretty big dude. That's one of the things I had noticed out there. It's like, man, this guy's big. I wonder what he weighs like outside of camp and shit like that.
He's large and in charge. That's for damn sure.
Be keeping an eye on him going forward. He's got talent, clearly, so we just want to see some development to the game here. Maybe playing it a little bit safer, better shot selection, not the spinning wheel kicks and shit like that if you're not setting it up. That's my only takeaway there. Good fight, though, still. Exciting finish.
And yeah, he's 7 inches taller than his opponent and had a 3-inch reach advantage.
Yeah.
He's 6'3" in the lightweight division.
It's a big old boy.
It's a big fucking guy.
That's welterweight material.
Yeah. Nothing next for him. You know, this next one, tried to tell the people. I tried to tell the people at home. I truly did. Angela Hill, folks. Angela Overkill Hill. I told you I had a feeling that not only does she get it done, but that she probably gets it done via finish. I'll be goddamned. She went out there. She got it done via finish. This is one that I did not know if it was going to hit on my underdogs, but it did. It hit on 3 of them. And by golly, I again wish I would have done the flex because I would have made some money. I'll just say that. But I didn't, and that's okay. Is this the one that we did a shot bet on? What was our shot bet on?
We had 2, and it was 2 on ones that I like basically didn't know anything about the guy, but I just wanted to play devil's advocate. But it was Carlston Harris, and it was the Fury fight.
Love it.
No, I was with you on Angela Hill, and I bet on her. She was in, I think, almost every one of my underdog ones. And the one thing that I was wrong on is in my head, I just pictured the clinch for some reason. I thought maybe she'd get her in the clinch and hit her with a knee or something like that.
I thought the clinch was going to come into play a lot more too, but
yeah,
it didn't happen.
Nope.
Cheers to Angela Hill getting a fucking finish. First submission win in the UFC, possibly in her career.
Yeah, that's a good question there. It's funny too because we did touch on that last week. We talked about how she's improving her grappling and like she's shown clear improvements there, and even at her age, she's still getting better. And then bam, she goes out there and gets a damn submission. It's like, all right,
first submission win in her entire career.
Yep.
That's just insane, dude. And over a game opponent, you got to think that loss to Mackenzie Dern made her really want to work on her grappling, right? So she did. This is somebody that I'm very high on. I've been high on her for some time. Some would call her a 500 fighter. You know, she's 17-13, not the greatest record in the world, but as we've said time and time again, she's just steadily getting better, right? She is steadily getting better. So, I mean, what should be next for this young lady, right? The women's strawweight division, I would say, it's kind of like when a day feels like, you know, gosh, today is dragging by. And then 2 seconds later, you're like, oh, whoa, it's already 4? She's somebody that, I mean, this division is something that's stacked, but also feels somewhat shallow at times. Stacked with talent, though. So what do I think should be next for her? She's currently sitting 3 spots up today, folks. 3 spots up at number 9 in the women's strawweight division. That's right. Give her a round of applause. There's a number of people that you could put her against. I have a couple of names. I think Marina Rodriguez would be a really fun fight. Assuming Marina doesn't have anything lined up. A rematch with Mackenzie Dern wouldn't be a terrible match. Mackenzie Dern coming off that loss. And obviously, Amanda Ribas is fun to see fight anybody, in my opinion. So, I don't know. What do you think?
I like it. I had 2 names, and Amanda Ribas was one of them. Which it kind of, when I started looking through her stuff earlier, it surprised me that they haven't fought yet. Both of them are pretty active, and it's like, damn.
I was super shocked that wouldn't be a rematch. I actually did hear that. I thought that was maybe your tummy rumbling. I thought maybe you were hungry.
Dude, it is thundering so loud here. It's
that's wild, bro.
Outside.
That's wild.
I'm gonna get sucked up in a tornado here. But the second name
that.
was Baby Shark, Tabitha Ricci, coming off a win. A debatable win there. It's pretty recent, so their schedules line up pretty well. And I don't believe that they have fought either, have they? Tabitha Ricci? No, I don't see her anywhere on there. So
I believe so, my friend.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
I think that would be a really good one, dude. Truly. Yeah, I mean, Angela Hill versus the world. Moving into the next one, we had Adrian Yanez coming in against Vinicius Salvador. He was coming in after quite a bit of a layoff, was Adrian Yanez. A lot of people were counting him out a little bit in this one, not going to lie to you. Lost to Rob Font, lost to Jonathan Martinez. He was on a bit of a skid, But you've seen the movies about street racers. Sometimes when you skid, the skids look cool. And yeah, I definitely heard the thunder that time.
It's wild.
It is wild. So yeah, honestly, this dude came back from the skid and he made it look easy as hell. 2 minutes, 47 seconds into the very first round, 36 strikes landed. 36 of them were significant. That's right, 100% significant strikes. I mean, what else is there to say? His opponent was also throwing venom too, right? Vinicius, he has that grit too, but I mean, he just got pieced up. He got knocked the F out. And it happens. It happens to the best of us, right? What can you do? What can you say? I think we were both aligned on this one, right? So, did you see it going down so quick?
No, I did not see it going down so quick. And while it was a win for Adrian Yanez, it still kind of was. I don't know, man. He still goes out there and he gets a little wild with it and gets a little reckless. He's couple
like young
big
Dustin
shots.
Poirier.
Yeah, and like less polished and like not as good.
Featherweight Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean. Young Dustin Poirier. I still don't think he's even as good as Dustin Poirier was back then.
He's definitely not as good as he was back then. But
no,
the way that he throws, like the grit, I feel like he's like, I had a really good camp. I'm not going to get into a scrap out there. And as soon as he gets tagged once, he's like, let's fucking scrap. That's what I mean, like young Dustin Poirier. Like he lets himself get sucked into brawls when he doesn't need to.
Yeah. I think that a lot of fighters suffer from that. It's like the ego. You get tagged, you want to get one back. Cody No Love is like probably like most clear and perfect example of that. Because
I love him, but I hate him. Gosh,
that's him every time. But the dude clearly has good boxing. He clearly has good power. So I still have a pretty high ceiling on Yanez. I just think he needs to put it together a little bit better. The fight IQ needs to come up a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I would agree with everything you just said there. And, it also might come down to where he's training, right? He's training at a Metro Fight Club. I think if he maybe switched camps, went to like an American Top Team, went to like an AKA or something like that, those guys would probably straighten him up quite a bit. But it's neither here nor there right now. Did you have a name on the tip of your tongue for young Yanez? Young Yanez!
Old young Yanez. They can't go off to the races with this dude yet. Like, they need to kind of slowly get his feet back under him. And I think a lot of the maybe the shot selection and going out there and winging it in this fight was due to some of his last performances. He felt like he needed to go out there and make a big splash in the scene and kind of reestablish his name in the ranks, which it's pressure on you, but it's not necessarily good pressure. Like, you don't want to go out there and also get caught in a shootout and then get knocked the hell out or something like that. You want to still keep your defensive like reasoning there, not just throw it out the window to make a big statement. I don't know, give him a good vet like Pedro Munoz. Like, it's got to be the very bottom of the top 15 if you're going to go into that, or maybe somebody just outside of it. I would certainly not be throwing him into the deep end. Did you have any names for him?
So I didn't have any names written down for him. I kept going back and forth about a couple of them. I mean, the division that he's in is pretty damn stacked. Like you said, I don't think we necessarily need to throw him to the deep end, but I wouldn't be mad at seeing him fight like a young Punisher, Pedro Munoz. I think that's a fun matchup. I think both those guys have really nice skills, but also leave a little bit on the line sometimes unnecessarily, and it would just make for a really fire matchup. That's the selfish fan in me. That's what I want to see.
I can like that.
Yeah. So, let's go ahead and talk about the next fight, man. We had Timba Grimbo coming in against Ramiz Brahimaj. This fighter. I mean, I'm gonna do a quick breakdown and then hand you the baton. Nice smooth handoff here. 110-15 on strikes landed in favor of Timba. 43-3 in significant strikes landed. And 5-1 on takedowns. Good lord. Almost a 10-1 deficit on significant and regular strikes and a 5-1 deficit on takedowns. This guy's a beast. He went in there with a clouded mind. His coach's mother just died of cancer. Literally the day of the media day. He was trembling and crying, answering questions. And he goes out there and does that? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, and he's not an old guy. Like, he's at the beginning of his career, really. He's 13-4. Dude is only 33 years old. He's just now entering his fight prime. I think the sky's the limit for this guy. Mad Max, what stood out to you about Timba? And do you have a name on the tip of your tongue for him at welterweight?
I think he... Whoops, I just knocked my cup over and spilled shit all over my desk.
It was the thunderstorm.
Yeah, that's what it was. Not me resting my hand on top of the cup like an idiot. Timba, did you hear him on UFC Unfiltered today? Talking about the win or anything? So, what I was worried about with this fight going into it, like you mentioned there with his coach's mother passing away, I was worried that this would have some kind of figuring in his game planning, or maybe him going out there and getting caught up in the emotions and getting caught in a submission or something like that. And instead, what had ended up playing out, and this is basically what he was saying on the podcast earlier, was that he wanted to go out there and beat this dude kind of at his own game and stay in the grappling exchanges. I would not have guessed that watching the fight. I thought he was just trying to stifle Ramiz Brahimaj's game, like hold him down, suffocate him, make sure that you don't give up any positions or anything like that, and basically drain him. It was kind of like a Umar Sy type game plan is what I thought he was doing. I didn't realize that was kind of an ego, him getting caught up in the moment type thing, but that was his own words, so it's like, okay, well, damn. Good ability to look at yourself, analytically after a fight and see where you were making mistakes 2 days removed from the performance. And he said he felt like that almost immediately after the fight. So it's like, man, that kind of mindset, that bodes very well for your career and fight game. It's like, damn, that he's going to look at every fight and try.
He's going to be a champ, dude.
I don't know about that, but he's going to glean something from every fight, which is what you want to see in a fighter. Like, he's going to continue to grow even up to the end of his career. He's going to be able to add some wrinkle to his game. Bet wise, I just for the odds, Brahimaj by sub was pretty wild, and that was like the only way he was clearly going to win. So we did Timba straight up, and then we hedged it with Brahimaj on submission there with like I forget what it was, a quarter of a unit or something. I forgot to grab my marker board, but yeah, good performance from Timba. And maybe even more so, bigger takeaway was just his mindset after the fight and how he's already picking apart the win and not necessarily taking it easy on himself. You don't want to see him like flog himself on a win, but to still look at it analytically and see what he's done wrong in the win, it's like, all right, this dude's got the mindset for sure. So I like it. As far as what's next, I thought maybe Vincent Luque, or Vicente Luque. How you say it?
Fucking funny, dude. I literally have Vicente Luque as well.
It'd be a good fight. It'd be a real good
I
fight.
have Vicente Luque or Neil Magny.
Oh, Neil Magny would be fun. Neil Magny would maybe do the shit that Neil Magny does, but Vincent Luque, I think that one actually has like fireworks all over it, like fight of the night type matchup there, in my opinion.
Oh man. So real quick, I'm just gonna tell you what hit and what did not hit on my bets here. And Avis higher than 6.5 minutes of fight time, easy money. Angela under 14.99 minutes of fight time, easy money. Adrian Yanez under 10 minutes of fight time, easy money. Timba Garimbo higher than 9 minutes of fight time, money in the bank. And getting into the next fight, Chaos Williams higher than 9 minutes of fight time. Oh, Chaos Williams coming in against Carlston Harris. Let's go ahead and pour up the shots. I don't know, like, why. If you've seen any tape on Chaos Williams, you would decide, you know what? I'm going to do the Max Holloway thing and just basically stand in the center and trade with this fucking monster. It just, like, I don't even want to say it was a bad game plan because it wasn't. It was a lack of a game plan. Chaos Williams did Chaos Williams things. He gets the knockout in disgusting fashion. Like what else is there to say? He went out there and had a guy that was willing to just stand in the center and trade with him. And you've heard of left hook Larry, right? Right hook Ricky made an appearance, folks. Cheers to that. Boom. And when we get it wrong, and when one person blows our entire parlay, you'd be a goldfish, because a goldfish has a 10-second memory. It's probably the happiest animal in the world. So yeah, Chaos Williams, Carlston Harris, they blew the parlays. They blew one of them. We'll get into the next one in a minute here, but. Yeah, I had that going higher than 9 minutes. I thought for sure he was going to be a bit of a grindy fight, and even if he did get the finish, it was going to be later in the match. But I digress. When homie's ready to sit there and throw in the middle, right hook Ricky made an appearance, and that's all she wrote. It was just a quick, and it was a nice sound. It was a nice fall. I don't even know what else to say.
Not much else to say, really. This was... He kind of handed it to him. Chaos was part of almost every one of my winning underdogs. I took him at higher than 0.5 finishes.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at him. I didn't even look through and see which ones were the winning ones yet. But he was in... Actually, sitting here looking at it, he was in every single one that I had that hit was a higher than 0.5 finish. Which is like, generally when this dude wins, that's how he wins.
Yeah.
All right, Harris just walked out there and gave it to him, too. He was actually having some moments of success. He was kind of doing a couple things where it's like, okay, that's not looking terrible. It was such a short fight. There's not a lot to take from it. But then he's just like, you know what? Let me give this guy the one chance that he's going to have to win. I'm just going to hand it to him and go out there and get my face punched in.
Yeah. Let's just play a good old game of face punch. With that being said, do you have any names on the tip of your tongue for good old Chaos Williams in the welterweight division?
Nobody... Well, the one I was going to propose there was Timba. I thought maybe have them two fight each other. They're clearly, I mean, the timeline matches up. They literally both just fought. So it's like, why not turn them around and make them fight each other? I I don't know that Chaos is going to want to agree to that fight because it seems like the UFC, like the machine is getting behind Timba. So it's almost like you're risking a lot at that. Now, if you win, you're going to go out there and make this dude look foolish. But I don't know how much this guy's in the game. He seems like he's 1 foot in, 1 foot out at times. But I'd love to see the fight. Him and Timba go at it. Who did you have in mind for him, or did you have someone?
Yeah, so I had a couple names. The names that I mainly have down here are the loser of Nicholas Dalby versus Hinat Fakhretinov, or the loser of Eliseo Zaleski versus Rude Boy Randy Brown.
That'd be a good one. When is that Dalby fight? Is that next weekend?
The Dalby fight is nuts. The Dalby fight is 6/22, June 22.
Okay. Yeah. Month from today, or a month and a day?
The Rude Boy one is next week, though.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that one's on the Poirier fight card. I'll be there.
Hell
6 rows away from the cage. Dying.
Have we heard any more news on Strickland and Costa yet, or anything?
No, but it's for sure. It's for sure gonna happen. I think. I hope. I pray. I fucking. Good Lord, man. Could you imagine? We already lost one, man.
Which one fell off?
Oh my God, I was excited about it. Why can I not fucking think of it right now? Tatsuro Taira.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Tatsuro Taira got canceled. Also, Park Young Sung versus or Sung Young Park versus Andre Lima got canceled. But that one wasn't like crazy.
Nah, you can give that one. Is that?
Oh wait,
Iron
Roman
Turtle?
Delize versus Fluffy Hernandez got canceled too.
Ooh, now that's a good one. That's actually
And
a good
Nico
fight.
Price versus Jeremiah Wells.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
but they replaced Oh, that's even better. We got Nico Price versus Alex Morono now.
Fun matchup.
Oh, dude, we're gonna do so many bets on underdogs next week.
I wish they had
my
the lines
gosh.
out already. I was trying to look it up earlier.
I literally looked right before I jumped in here
Yeah.
because I was like, oh, I wonder if they have them live. I'll probably post some now. Oh man. Okay, let's get through this last fight, and then we'll go through the boxing, and then we'll chat a little bit about the upcoming card that we're super excited about. So in the main event of the evening,
It's time!
that is right, it is time. Thank you, Bruce. We had Lerone Murphy, the Miracle, coming in against Edson Barboza. Oh man, I feel like I've been taking the lead on a lot of these. You know what? It's the main event. The main event, MadMaxMeridian. A lot of M's in there. Let's hear it, brother.
That
What are your thoughts on this?
alliteration was next
How
level.
did this
there.
fight make you feel?
Man, it was basically exactly what I was saying I was worried about was going to happen, that unfortunately the roadmap, the game plan is kind of out on Edson Barboza at this point, and it's like, if you can just implement that game plan, you're going to beat him. That's how everybody's beating him at this point. And it just, I don't know, man. Maybe it's a case of old dogs, new tricks, that whole deal where it's just like he's too cemented in his game, or maybe just the deficit is too much to overcome. But Lerone, he fought smart. It was a good performance by him. This was the one that bust most of my parlays. I had Edson by like higher than a 0.5 finish, and I had the under, I think, maybe on a couple of them. Edson kind of just continues to lose to guys who manage to take him down and kind of wet blanket him. That's it. That's the game plan. That's the way to beat Edson Barboza. That seems to be what's going to be the case for the rest of his career. Now, he also ate some huge shots, and there was moments he effectively looked out on his feet. He was flopping around and everything else, and I really, really thought Murphy would go in there and get the finish on him. That was maybe the other half of my parlays, because I kind of did both of them by finish. I was like, well, surely one of these guys will finish the other one, and then go figure, wouldn't you know it, they managed to find a way to take it all the way to the decision. That's some kind of universal law that'll make that happen. But good fight IQ from Lerone Murphy. That was probably my biggest takeaway. Was like, damn, this guy can clearly take a game plan, stick to it, ride out like the rough seas when shit starts getting crazy. He can still recompose himself and like come back to that game plan and stay the course. So good for him. That was impressive on his part. It sucks seeing Edson get the shit beat out of him, but
sucks seeing Edson go out like that, or even stay in like that. To be honest with you, I would have rather seen him go out early. He did look out on his feet effectively. I thought there were multiple times the ref could have stopped that fight. Multiple times the ref could have stopped that fight. And candidly, if he had, he would have turned 2 units into 80 for me. That'd have been a nice turnaround. But instead, that's the sound of all my money just disappearing, guys, into the wind with these parlays that didn't hit. That was my last one. So the last parlay was 2 units on Angela Hill, lower than 14.99 fight time. Adrian Yanez, lower than 10 minutes of fight time. Temba Garimbo, higher than 9 minutes of fight time. Abus Magomedov, higher than 6.5 minutes of fight time. And Lerone Murphy, lower than 24 minutes. I just needed it to finish with 1 minute left. And there were so many times that it looked like it was going to finish. Man. You hate to see it, but the only thing worse than seeing that 2 units disappear from the bankroll here was seeing Edson Barboza go out like that. It was 79 strikes landed to 259.
That's rough.
It's a lot, and more of those than not were to the head. It's a lot of damage to the head, man. And when he was eating them, it was like Rocky movie hits. Like you'd see it, and his knees would do like you're 5 years old and you got to do the pee dance. It was bad. It was not fun to watch as a fan of Edson Barboza. So, not my favorite fight in the world to watch, but we're at that point in life as MMA fans where we're just going to have to watch all of our favorite fighters for the most part just kind of age out, right? And it sucks, but it's the way of the world. The only person in mixed martial arts and boxing that is actually still undefeated after all these years is Father Time. So that's not a joke. That's a fact. Edson Barboza falls 3 spaces to number 15. Lerone Murphy comes up from not being ranked. Mad Max, have you seen this? Not being ranked.
Yeah.
To being number 11. That is fucking significant. You know what that means?
That at all.
You know what that means? We got to give him somebody else that is super duper ranked. What are you thinking? You got a name?
Oh, yeah. I had actually, dude, for this one. I want the emo king Diego Lopez to go out there and put him to bed, baby. I want it. I want Diego Lopez to smash everybody. Yep. Exactly, dude. Exactly. I want Blink 182 trophies everywhere. God damn it.
Dude, I fucking love that.
Who do you got?
I'm not even going to say it because that's just better.
Hell yeah. You want that sweet comb or the emo haircut to go out there and just hit him with an uppercut and sleep his ass. And then
I want to see him make a miss and be like,
"This was for Edson.
This was for Edson." That would be amazing.
Dude.
That'd be fucking amazing.
That's what I want.
Yeah, I mean, I had Dan Ige on there, but I like yours way better.
Ooh, 50K would be good. 50K would be really good. Is he scheduled on somebody? I don't know.
Is he?
No, but then we had another good matchup for Dan. I remember we were just talking about him against somebody really fun too. Dan Ige's the man.
And he just came off of that big win over Philly, and he beat Philly.
Yeah,
so he deserves a step up. Yeah, you're right. All right. That's it, guys. That's it. Not for the show. We're still gonna be here for a little bit. Sometime. We're gonna be here for some time. We gotta talk about this boxing match, guys. We gotta pour up a shot for this. And we got to talk about Usyk versus Fury. Now, I'm here to tell you, folks, it ultimately became Fury's jab and head movement versus Usyk's power punches and footwork. I told you this is how it would go. I knew that Usyk was going to go out there and just really land. Right? especially to the body. I knew he was going to outland to the body. He landed to the body specifically 70-46 on these strikes. Did you already do yours? Boom. Shablapsk.
Ooh, wow.
I got to get better whiskey for these shots. That's not good.
Yeah, it was rough.
That was not a good one. We're back. And we're back. All right. So, as I was saying, Usyk landed 70 body shots. Fury landed 46. When we're talking about jabs to the body, Usyk landed 29. Fury landed 6. We're talking about power punches to the body. Usyk landed 41. Fury landed 40. That was kind of shocking to me. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. But I digress. I would say that the fight went almost exactly as I said it was going to go. I think what I said was Usyk is probably going to go out there and win some of the opening rounds, take the middle rounds off, and then come back in the later rounds. He did just that. He did exactly that. The knockdown in round 9. Oh. It was upsetting because every big boxing match here lately, I have simply just won money on. This was not one of them. I thought it was going to happen, Mad Max. I really did, man. I really did. I really did. Do you know how much I was going to win? I put 10 units down, just like I did on the last 2 that I won big on. I would have won 230 units off of that 10 units if Usyk just got one more knockdown. And it looked like he was going to do it multiple times. But, here we are. Got me feeling like a jive turkey here. It was a great match. I don't know if you know this, but this is the first time that the heavyweight belt has been unified since, I believe, 1999 or 1998.
I thought it was 2000 for some reason, but yeah, somewhere. I mean, we're splitting hairs. It's a couple years difference there. Somewhere right around there.
When's the last time that it was unified? Hold on. It's gonna drive me nuts now. I have to know. I have to know. Anyways. Great match. Great guys. Usyk is that guy. I mean, 30 plus pounds lighter than his opponent. Still gets it done. What an absolute stud. And now, Mad Max, we're going to hopefully have the turkey himself back next week when we actually fully break this down. But we still got some time. Let's just spend a couple of minutes. Just, I'm gonna talk us through listing the fights for 302. And if there's one that you're super stoked about, let's just stop and do a quick benchmark chat on it,
Yeah, well, just let me say my piece here on the Fury Usyk thing too.
Oh, please. I'm waiting for it.
I'm surprised they didn't stop it in the 9th. I don't fully understand that.
Bro.
2, obviously, like we touched on last week, I don't know anything about Usyk, so I was just playing antagonist. But the way he was eating some of these shots to give his own, that's always the style that's going to win me over. It's like, damn, all right, this is awesome. It's maybe not necessarily the smartest style, but it's just awesome to watch somebody, like, basically pit their will against another person. So that was great to see. I want to go back and rewatch it because I've seen several people saying that Fury got robbed and all this, and it was going into the decision. It was one of those where I was like, well, the decision is debatable if you ignore the round where he got knocked down and everything. Like, I could maybe see, It's like, well, if we're going to make the argument that maybe Fury won the decision because he won more rounds, then I would also be willing to make the argument that they should have just stopped the fight, and I don't understand why they didn't. So that's all I wanted to say about that one. Wanted to say my piece on the Fury-Usyk fight, but fun matchup. Sky's the limit for Usyk, obviously. He's getting up there a little bit in age, so I kind of worry how long he's going to hold the belt, but given how good he is, it's like, well, he might hang on to it for a little bit. We'll see what happens. I know they got the automatic rematch clause in October or whatever, but we'll see. We'll see.
I think it goes worse for Fury the next time if this happens again, if I'm being honest with you. Usyk is a very cerebral fighter.
Statistically, it's like 60-something% of the time that is how it goes. It's like 63%.
He also beat Anthony Joshua twice. I'm sorry, come on, bro. That is saying something. If you don't watch boxing, if you don't know who Anthony Joshua is, Google him. He looks like he was made in a fucking lab. Like, swear. And homie beat him twice. And by the way, Usyk is the greatest cruiserweight of all time. I will die on that hill. He didn't even have to do this. He's the Roy Jones Jr. of our time. The dude that's fought in like 4 fucking weight classes just because he can. Because he gets bored. He cleans shop with one and he's like, all right, I guess I'll go up and fight these fucking monsters that are 30 pounds heavier than me because why the fuck not? There's a reason Roy Jones Jr. is playable in like, what, 4, 5 fucking weight classes and undisputed? When they add Usyk, he's going to be playable in multiple as well. The only difference is he's going to be in half the number that Roy Jones Jr. is, but his stat differential is going to be much less.
I think he's already in it, isn't he?
Is he?
I think so.
Oh my gosh. I mean, we got to run some fights with Usyk.
I was literally planning on probably playing after this.
Hey, I should probably get dinner after this, but I could probably squeeze a match in before that. Fuck it.
I'll just work on the career. If not, I've been chipping away at it, trying to.
Oh yeah, let's go. You're gonna kill me. You're gonna kill me soon because I've only played like 2 matches, 3 matches in my career mode, and then the matches against you. Really. All right. So I mean, I the only reason I was brushing back into the UFC so quickly is because I didn't know if you'd actually like watched the fight. I know you're not huge on boxing, right? And compared to MMA. So I didn't know if you had made time to watch the fight, but juice that you did, brother. And,
yeah, that was when I had the 3 wide. Remember, I think I said about I had the Fury on one monitor, I had UFC on another monitor, and then I had Ian on my phone. So I had like
go.
I had every resource available in here. I was in my computer room, like trying to get all the shit going, just to catch it all. So it was good.
You love to see it. You love to see it. I was sad to see Ian lose in the pro debut, but you know, it happens. We win or we learn in this game, and he learned. He'll get better from this. He'll get better from this, and he'll keep moving forward. Speaking of moving forward, UFC 302 promises to be one of the best cards of the entire fucking year, in my opinion, guys. To start off the card, we got Andre Lima coming in against Nia Marjagal Tumanimbero. That someone made that name up. ChatGPT made that name up for sure. That's a real name though. NYAMJARGAL TUMENDEMBEREL. Tumendemberel. What? Moving into the fights that everyone's actually excited about. Here we go. Names we can pronounce. Eileen Perez coming in against Jocelyn Edwards. Stoked about this fight. Basil Hafez coming in against Mickey Gall. Fucking stoked about that fight.
Very fun one.
That's a very fun one. Nico Price versus Jeremiah Wells, I was definitely stoked about, but Nico Price versus Alex Morono, I am far more excited about. I really like Alex Morono. I know you said you haven't seen the series Gotham, but there is a character in Gotham that looks identical to Alex Morono. Victor Zaz.
Okay, I was going to say, who's the character? I might know him from the games or the comics, but yeah.
Do you know Victor Zaz?
I do, yeah. He's the first one you fight in Arkham in the game. He's like one of the very, very first guys. He's the one that does like the tallies or some shit, doesn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you look up Victor Zaz, Gotham, you'll see him and you'll be like, oh, fuck. All right.
Oh, shit.
That's like Wish.com version of Alex Morono. And they even have some of the same like mannerisms, which it's and they talk like it's very weird. They say everybody has a twin. I feel like this is definitely one of his distant twins. That being said, you just looked it up,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Every single time Alex Morono wins, or at least for like the last, I don't know, maybe like 4 years since I drew the connection. Every time Alex Morono wins, I tweet "Great win, Morono" or something like that with a GIF of that guy. I think, what is the fucking line that he's like? He's a good egg, and he's like super
awesome.
like overacting. I love it, dude. I love that actor. He's fucking great. So yeah, super fun matchup. 15-7 coming in against 24-9. Alex Morono is just very fun, especially if you're like this fucking guy, right? You like the grappling because he's literally the jiu-jitsu coach at his gym. You see him cornering a lot of UFC fighters, actually, at least 3 that I can think of. So moving into the next one, we have Philip Rowe against Jake Matthews. Then we got Grant Dawson against Joe Selecki. Please stop me if you're excited about any of these.
All of them.
All of them. All of them.
Yeah, for real.
All right. Cesar Almeida versus Roman Kopylov. Come on.
Any relation to Jelton? Jelton Almeida? Do you know?
They do look alike. Oh,
That's why I was
God.
wondering. They actually kind of look alike in the face, and they have similar ears and stuff. That was my one wonder there. Oh, Roman Kopylov, though. That dude's freaking got all the hype behind him right now. Finished machine. Absolute animal. A little reckless, but an animal.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a little bit reckless, but he's definitely a fucking animal. How many siblings does this man have? He has 11 siblings. It could be a sibling.
Jelton does or Caesar?
Yes, Jelton.
Holy shit. That dude
That
ain't
was
playing around.
that was in a story by Essentially Sports. It's also on his background section in his Wikipedia. He has 11 siblings. Son of divorced parents. Older brother Alexander disappeared one day after being involved in a criminal syndicate. Was never seen again. What the fuck?
That's a wild story. Good grief.
That's the ending of his background section.
That's
I'm
some
sorry.
Vitor
What?
Belfort type shit.
Bro, oh man.
That's wild.
Oh, he said that's some Vitor Belfort shit. I mean, that's...
And that rumors of what happened to his sister and whatnot, that's some... They ain't fucking around down there, dude. Did I fuck up?
All right, we're switching back. We're switching the vibes back. All right. No, the Vitor Belfort story always just makes me very sad, to be completely honest with you.
I saw him on something. He was commentating on something earlier this week.
I don't... Tell me why I misunderstood the way that the context you were saying that in. You were like, I saw him on something. I'm like,
Oh, drugs.
I was like, okay, hold on. First of all, you very lightheartedly and just casually slipped in that you saw Vitor Belfort somewhere. And then 2, what was he on?
The drogas. He was on that bomba. No, he was on boxing
I was at TGI Fridays and he was super ripped on cocaine. I only know because it looked like he had literally doused his nose in baby powder at the booth right across from me. But the tots were great.
Exactly. The man's been eating powdered donuts for sure. For sure. No, he was commentating boxing or something. I saw something over the weekend and I'm blanking out on what the hell it was. I was watching too much fights over the weekend, but I saw him commentating. Whatever it was.
I wish I knew more about bare knuckle because there are odds right now on underdogs, and I'm a degenerate. Obviously, you know. What can we do? There are odds on underdogs for bare knuckle FC for Saturday. I mean, might have to do a little Thursday like quickie like 30-40 minute episode on bare knuckle.
Yeah, I need to take a look and see because there's still A lot of those dudes having crossed over from MMA, like you end up knowing more of them than you might at first glance.
That's what I was going to say is I need to look and see if there's anybody I actually know. So Cesar Almeida, I can't confirm or deny whether or not he is the brother or cousin of Jailton Almeida. But I would assume possibly. I will tell you this. Early in his career, he faced Alex Pineda. He won by decision, by the way. I don't know if you know that. Back in kickboxing.
Caesar did?
Cesar Almeida
Interesting.
beat Alex Pineda. It happened. It did happen. You can read about it on the record books. And now
Not
we're
very
getting to the main
active, is
card.
he?
He's not super. I mean, he was a kickboxer. He just got into to MMA. He
Well, yeah,
really
MMA
kickboxer.
fights back in. He's got one in 2016, two in 2021, one in 2023. Kind of all over the place.
There.
Interesting.
Fair.
He's 36 against Kopilov. Who? Kopilov's not exactly a young buck either, though. He's 33. Interesting. That's a fun fight.
That's so funny that you literally said not exactly a young buck, and then my oldest cat, not exactly a young buck, whose
Bucky
name
Moose.
is Bucky Moose, and we call him Buck all the time. Literally came and brushed against my leg. He's asking me to open up the door right now, so I'm gonna get up and do that when I pass you the torch in just a sec here. Main card: Randy Brown versus Alicio Zaleski dos Santos. Randy Rude Boy Brown has joined this stream. I'm going for Rude Boy. Don't completely allude to who you're going to in the first like 10 seconds because I'm going to open the door to let Buck Moose out. But are you excited about this fight? Tell the people.
Bro, I'm super pumped for it. First and foremost, we're Randy Rude Boy Brown fans in this house just for the support. He seems like a real ass dude, like a real ass G. Also, like, he actually calls in semi-regularly to UFC Unfiltered also. And he hits it off super well with Matt Serra, who I love Matt Serra, but it seems like sometimes his personality can be a little polarizing sometimes to people, like it's a lot. And him and the Rude Boy hit it off very well. So every time he calls in, I fucking love it because it's just like catching up with one of the boys. Like, let's see what the Rude Boy's up to. I think it's because they both game and shit too. Like they kind of have that in common.
I feel like Rude Boy's just a nice ass dude.
Yeah. We're Rude Boy fans in this house, which is funny because I didn't used to like him. I thought he was incredibly overrated, and then I heard a couple of his interviews, and I'm like, oh, this dude's cool as shit. We're
class,
now Rude
bro.
Boy fans. Yeah, he's a
he's
cool dude.
class. So I don't know if we were actually maybe we were talking already, but like I joined one of his streams, and I'm sitting there. He was on Twitch, and I joined one of his streams, and I'm just like in the chat, and he's all MMAnomaly. Did I say it right? And I type, I'm like, yeah, you actually said it right. Most people fuck it up. And so like, he's all MMAnomaly sounds like a podcast name. Do you do a podcast or something? And I was like, I do it on Twitch and YouTube. He's like, oh, dope. So I think it was his girl that was doing basically his Jamie. And he's like, can you pull it up? So she pulls it up and he sees my old intro and he's like, oh dude, this is a great production, dude. And he like compliments me a couple times and I'm all, what a fucking guy. Let's go, dude. And then when he joined, I kid you not, when he joined my stream and he's like, what's up, MMAnomaly? My phone is just like fucking vibrating next to me the entire time because Mary is messaging me on Facebook because she knows that I'll see it on the screen because like that's where we usually chat. And she's like, don't freak out. I can see that you're freaking out. Just be you. Like, if he's here, just be you.
I was in the episode where he came in because he dropped a bunch of emojis with I'm blanking out on what the Jamaican, it was like the Magwan or bra bra or whatever the hell it was. He put like 7 of those right out of the gates. Like when he came in, I was like, oh shit, Randy Brown, that's sick. I'm for life of me can't remember what the hell it was that he was saying, but it was one of the typical Jamaican sayings that you hear. It was fucking cool to see him pop in. We're Rude Boy fans forever for that.
Rude Boy fans for fucking life on this show, folks. And also, if you're not subscribed to his YouTube channel, please make sure you go and subscribe to his YouTube as well as his Twitch. He actually just posted a pretty cool new video on YouTube of him breaking down the new gloves, the new UFC regulation gloves, because, again, these new gloves are actually going to be making their UFC debut at UFC 302. And Randy Rude Boy Brown, of course, is a part of that event. So make sure you check out that video on his YouTube where he breaks those gloves down. Moving into the next fight, we had Jailton Almeida. They've got to be related, bro. They're on the same card, too.
Yeah, it's wild.
I mean, do you believe sometimes that things line up too closely to be a coincidence, Mad Max?
He's an industry plant for sure.
I'm going to say Jailton Almeida versus Alexander Romanov is probably going to be a banger alert, kids. I'm just going to overuse it. It's happening. That's going to be a fucking savage fight. All right. Moving into the next one, we got Kevin Big Mouth Holland coming in against Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. I'm going to ask you who you got in this fight.
Well, let's backpedal just a hair. I think that last one is like battle of who gasses first. I'm excited for it, but I am curious who gasses first. Kevin Holland and Mikhail. I would probably pick Holland. Yeah, you notice I just skipped right past that last name too. Oleksiejczuk. I would probably pick Kevin Holland given the speed. But then every time I see Mikhail, he kind of surprises me a little bit with his speed. He actually is relatively quick. I'm a Big Mouth fan. He's another dude who I wasn't too warm on at first, and I've kind of come around on him and you know what, I kind of like Kevin Holland. I wouldn't bet on that fight though. I probably would just leave it alone, or if I do, I'd take the over. What would you got somebody in it? I think you're muted.
I have learned never to bet against Big Mouth, and I've also learned never to bet against Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. So just like you, I think I'm going to stay the fuck away from this fight. I do think I'd probably take the under on it if there's an under 2.5, because one of these dudes is live for a finish.
Interesting. I'm going to see if I can find some odds out there for this one.
To put it into perspective, I think Mikhail Oleksiejczuk, he's a very crispy boxer with really great range-finding techniques. And Kevin Holland, I mean, he's a long, strong fighter. He has literally a 7-inch reach advantage over Mikhail. And the way, you've heard me say this. If you listen to the show before, you've definitely heard me say this before. And if you listen to the show again, you'll hear me say it again. Having reach is one thing. Understanding how to utilize it is a completely different thing. And I truly think Kevin Holland is up there with the Conor McGregors of the world in understanding how to utilize reach. Caliber of fighter, career, etc., maybe not, but utilization of reach, he has a vast understanding of it. The way he was able to pop Joaquin Buckley back in the day and many, many others, that's what worries me the most about this fight, if I'm being honest with you. I think Mikhail will move his head in and off the line, but Mikhail has a kind of predictable rhythm. And Big Mouth's the type of guy that's able to download a rhythm. I know that recency bias is a son of a bitch. That MVP fight is probably going to give us really good odds. I am fucking here for it. And I will definitely be betting that. And if betting is legal in New Jersey, since I'll be there, you know what I'm saying? I'll be live betting it because I love me some Kevin Holland. I think he's going to do pretty well in this bout. And again, I'm fucking here for it. Sean Strickland now in the middleweight division versus Paulo Costa. Who do you have in that fight?
Probably Sean Strickland. The 2-1 odds gives me a little bit of pause there, but Strickland by decision seems to be probably the relatively safe bet. I think he's probably going to want to go out there and put on a relatively dominant performance, but I don't know, man. If I were to play it, I'd probably hedge it with Costa inside the distance, just given how explosive and the fact that Sean's been knocked out And, I'm not necessarily saying he's chinny, just Costa has a lot of power and throws hard. So it's like if he catches Strickland, I could see him shutting his lights out. But it's like, 60, 70% Sean Strickland with a 30 to 40% chance of Costa winning. It's probably how I'd break it down.
Yeah, I agree with that. I completely agree with that. I don't know that I have much to add other than the reach advantage that Sean Strickland has. Sean Strickland has a 4-inch reach advantage, and the way that he's able to jab at range, it makes me lean even more. I'm almost like 75-25 in favor of Strickland on this one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He seemed to struggle with the jab against Whitaker for sure. So it's like, all right, well, Strickland has maybe a cleaner, more boxing style jab than Costa does, but Costa certainly seemed to struggle with the speed and the jab of Whitaker. So it's certainly worth noting.
Whitaker has more of a fencer's jab where it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. It's more of a rangefinder, a pushing jab, not a popping jab. So I'm almost curious if the stylistic difference in jabs is going to provide less of a problem for Costa, with it not being a step-in jab the way that it was with Whitaker. Or as Paolo pronounces it, a hobbit to Whitaker.
Yeah, could definitely. I mean, Costa favors more of that kind of boxing style.
It almost sounds like he's saying the hobbit. He's like, the hobbit to Whitaker.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. I love Paulo Costa's accent so much. It's one of my favorite accents in all of MMA. If he did a same. If he did a podcast, I would definitely subscribe. I would definitely listen to that podcast. And then, of course, in the main event of the evening, we have Islam Makhachev coming in against Dustin the Diamond Poirier. My goodness. I mean, this is the reason that I bought the tickets to the fight. It's the reason I'm sitting six rows away from the cage. Mad Max, who you got in this fight?
Well, I mean, to keep it brief, I don't want to go like super into it because I'm sure we're going to do a pretty in-depth breakdown, but
we will.
The play is probably a hedge. Islam's, of course, a 5-1 favorite, so there's no real juice there. Islam, it's like 60-40. Islam should win, but I'll never count out the diamond. Not 100%. I wouldn't count out the diamond, so I'll hedge it with the diamond inside the distance. But Islam should win this fight. I'll probably take both of them inside the distance, depending on the odds.
Sure. I think that's probably the safe bet. I think if you look at winning methods here, you can get Dustin Poirier by knockout at plus 650. But if you look at fight line specifically, you can get Dustin Poirier at plus 410. I don't think it's worth it for the extra, 240 to take Dustin specifically by knockout. More worth it to take that money line at plus 410. Now, you could get Dustin Poirier to win by submission or knockout at plus 550. That, I do think, is a little bit more worth it. Because, again, that means you can turn one unit into 5.10 or you can turn one unit into 6.5.
I'm almost like the Dustin Poirier round 3, 4, or 5. Round 3 plus 3,300. Round 4 plus 3,300. Round 5 plus 3,300. Like, that's fucking ridiculous.
I might have to sprinkle. I was going to say, I might have to sprinkle like a fifth of a unit on each of those.
I mean, even if you put a third of a unit on each, so you're basically still only betting one full unit at the end of the day, you're getting 10.89 on top of that return. That's a third of a unit for over 10 units is insane. And that's, I mean, generally speaking, that's probably how he's going to win it. Like, the first 2 rounds are going to be hell. But, as Dustin goes on, like, the fight has a higher and higher percentage chance of swinging in his favor.
Yeah, dude.
You could damn near play him in every round, honestly. 1,400, 2,200, and then 3,300 after that.
I'm literally lining it up right now.
What's 0.2? So at worst, for your total, if you did a fifth of a unit on all 5 rounds, your total bet is 1 unit. At very minimum, if he gets the finish in round 1, you're going to get 2.8 in return. So you'd be 1.8 ahead.
I almost want to do 1 unit on each round. Because at the very least, as long as he wins, you're up 10 units.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing I was saying, just at a third of a unit scaled or a fifth of a unit.
Yeah.
But the point is, were you going to bet
like
5 units on him straight up, though, is the question.
Yeah.
You were going to bet
so.
that many units on Dustin Poirier to win this fight?
I was originally planning on betting 25 units on him.
Well, that's another story.
Brother, I love Islam as much as the next guy. I've been drinking the Islam Kool-Aid for years, but it's Dustin Poirier. All right? It's my favorite fighter of all time.
Oh, I get being your favorite, but that's 25 units on a plus 400 fighter is wild.
Brother, I've done worse and made more.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean the bets I've made on like Ryan Garcia, the bets I made on Bud Crawford against Errol Spence, they were just as high.
You didn't put 25 units on those dudes. We've talked about him before. I know you did.
You're right.
I know you did. I'm 100% positive.
I put 10. You're right. I put 10. Okay. All right. I put 10.
Save your bets. Think about it for the next week. But I think I would caution against that much. I would go hard, but I wouldn't go 25.
I'm not putting them all in one basket. But what I'm saying is, like, if you bet them in each round, like you were saying, like round 1 unit to get 15. Not bad. Round 2, you get 1 unit to win 23. Round 3, you get 1 unit to win 31. Round 4 is 1 unit to win 41, and round 5 is 1 unit to win 51 units. It's not bad. That's what I'm saying. Is like any way it goes. Anyway it goes, all right? You're up units as long as Dusty wins.
You're right. He is a huge underdog. You're chasing the payout, not the bet, though.
But then
you want the risk. The risk is the issue.
That's what I'm saying. So then, you go specific method of victory, Islam by submission, right? And you put, I don't know, 3 units on it. You hedge those bets. That 3 units will get you 6.3. It covers the spread of the DP bet. Tell me I'm wrong, Matt.
You are wrong. 3 to get 6 is way fucking short of 25. By my math, you're about 19 short.
No. I was saying this. No, obviously you'd have to put more than 3. But I was saying at the one unit to get 1 unit to get 1 unit to get. If we're doing 1 across, right? That's 5 units down, right?
That makes slightly more sense, yeah.
Right.
That makes slightly more sense, yeah. If we're ignoring the other 20 that you said you were going to be betting,
yes,
you just bet 5, I can agree with that.
Terms.
I can agree with doing
terms.
5 and hedging it. That's like reasonable.
So okay, all right. If we did,
that's reasonable.
We could even do 5, right?
And
then we can hedge it with a 5 on Islam by submission, and that pays out 10.5 units.
There, now that's more reasonable.
So
or even 3 on
up.
Or something. Yeah, there you go.
That's what I'm saying. Is like 3. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
You came back to the realm of realistic, and I like it. I like this. You've talked yourself off of a ledge that I was really worried.
No. I'm gonna multiply it by 25.
I was gonna come out on that ledge and fucking get the hooks in and drag you back. I was gonna try and rope you off that thing and drag you back.
Make no mistake, my guy. We're still multiplying those odds.
Wild. I like it though,
bro. Wait till underdog drops.
Yeah, I'm very curious what theirs are going to be. That's all I keep checking for.
Oh
those multipliers are going to be wild.
Dustin Poirier over 1 finish, or over 0.5 finish. It's going to be like 3.5x.
Yeah, exactly. Agreed.
Oh man. Oh dude, I'm already thinking about it. I'm going to pair a Dustin Poirier finish with a Sean Strickland decision and a Kevin Holland finish, and get like 45x.
Yeah, that's a play right there. Do you know how long normally it takes? Like, how long ahead of the fights they get theirs out? Is it usually like a week, or do you know?
They usually do it on Mondays.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes they do it early for these bigger cards, and with it being a bye week, I would assume they're probably going to do that. But I've also got some big NBA games going on right now. As like not even an NBA casual, that'd be insulting NBA casuals. An NBA non-guy. The NBA finals are still going on, right? So they are in the midst of things, and there's a lot of big games on that. So I would imagine their focus is on that.
Yeah.
But I would also imagine a big company like Underdogs, wink, 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 you know what I'm saying? Sponsor us. They probably have a dedicated team for MMA. So I would assume they're going to come up later this week, and I'm definitely going to keep my eyes peeled for it, man. I cannot wait to break down this card in its entirety with you, me, Nano, the Jive Turkey himself coming back. It's
3 wide, baby.
3 wide, baby. It's going to be a good one, folks. And UFC 302 is going to be a great one. I'm going to be there live. It's going to be a good-ass time. And it's...
so awesome.
Dude, I'm literally... I don't even think it's already, sunk in.
I don't think it has either. Your reactions are not to the level of what it should be. It's going to set in about mid next week. Yeah,
I'm trying not to get extremely excited just because I'm like... Oh, dude, I'm gonna freak out. I'm gonna freak out. Oh, God, I'm gonna freak out. My sanity is gonna be gone. Yeah. I mean, the fact that I have that, and then a month later I have International Fight Week, and then a month later I have Comic-Con, and for the first time I got tickets for all 4 days. I literally am gonna have the biggest happiness dump. Like, my dopamine engine is just gonna break.
Summer 24 is going to be one to remember for you. You need to write this down or something. Like, I
need to journal it.
A big summer,
sure, dude. It's incredible. I'm so stoked. Everybody, fight fans of all shapes and sizes, we really, really appreciate you guys and gals for being here. Please do us a favor: like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell for notifications. Make sure you subscribe to me on all platforms at MMAnomaly. Subscribe to this young man, please, at MadMaxMeridian, mostly on Twitch as well as Twitter or X. I think they officially changed it to X now. Whatever you want to call it. Either way, we appreciate you. And please, 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 if nothing else, do us a huge favor. Keep on going. Keep on growing. We'll see you next week.
You've been listening to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. As you may have been able to tell, we dig the MMA, and our passion is to dive deep into the upcoming fights, give you our expert breakdowns, and help you make sense of all the chaos that is the fight game. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, make sure to find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at MMAnomaly. Be cool, and we'll see you next time.